So let's talk about where the opportunities are, if they are out there, and you're always looking for those money that's being ignored because, or opportunities that are being ignored because everybody's looking at the crisis, they're looking somewhere else. As an investor right now, where should I be looking for opportunity?
Man, we're in a period of forced liquidation where everybody has to liquidate their position no matter what, with no regard to
All
the
asset
fundamentals.
classes.
All that, everything. We've had 8 or 9 periods like this in the past 150 years, 1929, 1974, 1873, a few periods like this. It doesn't mean it making us any fun, just because we're watching history being made. But the way you make money coming out of periods like this is you find the things where the fundamentals are unimpaired. And that's what's going to lead this out, and that's where you'll make a lot of money. Now, unfortunately, most things have been impaired. General Motors has been impaired. Bank of America has been impaired. The only thing I know that hasn't been impaired are raw materials, commodities, call them what. This is good for commodities. Farmers cannot even get loans for fertilizer right now. So you're going to have fewer products, fewer real goods coming out of this in the future. Nobody can open a zinc mine anymore. You can't get any money to open a zinc mine. So supplies of everything are going to continue to decline. All those people who got MBAs, they should turn them in and get agricultural degrees, because in the future, it's the farmers, the miners, the lumberjacks, the people who do real things who are going to make money. Finance is going to be a disaster. All of those 29-year-olds driving Maseratis are going to have to learn how to drive taxis, and the smart ones will learn how to drive tractors. Because in the future, the people who are going to have the Maseratis are going to be the farmers, and they'll have these ex-stockbrokers driving their tractors. Agriculture has been a terrible business for 30 years. We have shortages of seeds, fertilizer, tractor tire. We have a very serious shortage of farmers now. You went to school. Nobody you went to school with became a farmer. They became a journalist or a lawyer or a financier. We have a shortage of farmers in the world right now, but that's going to change, Mary. The people who are going to make all the money in the future are going to be in agriculture and real places.
And so from an investment point of view, I mean, you are the commodities king, as we like to say, the guru, and this has
I'm
been
a
your
simple
thing.
person, Mary.
You're a simple man with a simple idea, and it's commodities, right? I mean, it is. So investing in that right now, because yes, I understand everything you're saying, but there is also, with a global slowdown and a recession in the United States, demand does get curbed temporarily.
Well, in the business cycle, yes, demand for nearly everything goes down. But supply is going down even faster on a secular basis. Now, unless this is there's no more, this is an economic collapse forever, but even in the 1930s, in the Great Depression, commodities hit bottom first because there were shortages. And they went up before the economy did. They went up before the stock market did. In the 1970s, we had terrible economies worldwide. Commodities went up because there were shortages of everything. That's going to happen again.
When we look at the other things that are on the table right now, energy, we talked about a year and a half ago, and everything that you said in our conversation played out. You said at the time oil was about $60. You said it would hit about $150. It came within $3 of that. It has since come back down, which you said if we're in a global recession, it will come back down, and as you've pointed out, would probably be one of the first things to go back up as we start to see recovery. What is your feeling now about energy, about oil, but also all of the push right now for alternatives? With President Obama in the United States, they are getting a backing that they didn't have with the Bush administration.
Well, first of all, with energy, the International Energy Authority, the people who study energy more than anybody else, came out with a study 6 weeks ago which said that the world is running out of oil reserves at the rate of 6 or 7% a year. Now, you can do the arithmetic. It's not going to take long before we're going to have gigantic shortages of oil. So, yes, oil prices are going to go back up a great deal. One of the results of that will be that people will start using alternate energy. They're going to use any kind of energy they can find. Wind power will become competitive. Solar power will become competitive. Nuclear power is already cheaper than most kinds of power. Even many environmentalists are saying, well, you know, it's cleaner, it's cheaper. If it's contained, it's better. So you're going to see more and more of every kind of alternate energy coming. But that's not going to solve our problems, Mary. If everybody in the world decided today to order a windmill, first of all, you couldn't get one. There's just not enough capacity. And second, you don't just go and put a windmill on your roof and that's the end of that. I mean, you've got to change the entire world's infrastructure. Everything's got to be changed. Someday, Someday, yes, all of this will solve our problems, but someday is a long way from now.
And what do you think of T. Boone Pickens and his? Now, granted, he's got a stake in this, and he's a vested interest in a lot of ends of this, but he is saying use natural gas in automobiles, and therefore use the wind power for electricity. Take natural gas out of that component. I mean, is that something that you see a future in?
The problem with wind power is that oil is $55 a barrel right now. Wind power is not competitive. I know everybody thinks, well, it's free. No, it's not. It's not that simple. Wind power is only competitive at like $80 oil. Solar power is competitive at only like $125 oil. But as prices go higher or as politicians subsidize, yes, these things have great futures. Boone is right. Wind power has an enormous future. Listen, he may be doing it to make money, but fine. Nobody's going to do anything unless they can make money at it. You're not going to change. The people who've changed the world have made money at it. They're supposed to make money at it. That's the way the thing is supposed to work.
That's the way markets should work.
That's the way the world should work. I mean, anybody who does things no, I take that back. But most people who do things altruistically are not going to change the world. Some people do. Mother Teresa was a fabulous person. Yes, she changed a lot of lives. But most the world, Henry Ford wasn't doing it for free. IBM, the people who founded IBM were not doing it for free. They were doing it to make money, and they had enormous impacts on the world.
Change takes capital, just like anything else. Right?
Well,
when we look at the world and how markets are run, you are the bull in China, right? Do I have the name of the book right?
Yes.
That government is, in many ways, very capitalist, but they are still, admittedly, a communist government. Are you concerned long-term about investing in China and the fact that it is still a communist government that is running?
Mary, they call themselves communists, yes. Italy calls itself a Catholic nation, too.
It is still a central economy, though.
Less than America is. Look at what's going on around you. In America, you can't even sell short. In China, you can sell short in that horrible communist bastion. No. Listen, America's taking over most of the American financial economy anyway. But listen, we won't even make that comparison. I'm just saying to you that China's opening up more and more and more. It's much more localized than the American press seems to give people the impression of. No. Look, they've got problems. Don't think I'm that crazy. But remember, Mary, America had horrible problems 150 years ago. In the 19th century, we had 15 depressions with a D. We had a horrible civil war. We had few human rights. There were massacres in the streets constantly. There was little rule of law. You could buy and sell Congress. Well, you can still buy and sell congressmen, but they were cheap.
Well, we've made a few other improvements.
Well, then you could buy 3 or 4 congressmen. Now you can only buy 1. They're so expensive now. But yes. But we came out of that terrible period on a historic basis, and we were the greatest country in the 20th century. So I mean, China's going to make some horrible mistakes. Don't think they're not. But I am more worried about America right now than I am China for the next 30 years. I'm much more worried about America.